This week in memes, we analyze exactly what it means to be a VSCO girl and whether or not an expensive water bottle makes you special in high school. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Also, YouTube has revamped the way the verification works in order to make it even more difficult to tell the difference between your favorite creators by just removing verification from a bunch of large accounts. Are you watching SumitoMedia? Or are you watching the odd ones out? It's basically impossible to tell.
Ik was 12, ik had Dolce & Gabbana. Ik heb die summertime sadness net Atlanta. Hannah Montana, ja ik ben een vieze manna. Ze is dan wel geen minion, maar toch wil ze me banana.
This just in. Local YouTuber refuses to admit just how old he's gotten and covers a meme that he doesn't fully understand for like the 4th time in a row. I get it. I don't get it. Who am I to tell you what a VSCO girl is, or how an entire cult of high school subculture has emerged from a filter on a photo editing app is beyond me. But let's take a crack at it. Here's how I understand it, and if I get a single comment about the bleach on my shirt, you can drink a big glass of it. So they have this app called VSCO, okay? And VSCO has this filter on it, much like whatever they're called on Instagram. They also have filters, one of which is called C1. Now the C1 filter was so popular amongst people using the VSCO photo editing app.
C1? C1 VSCO filter, like saturation 100. That was like the prime of lifestyle YouTubers.
That people decided to design an entire aesthetic surrounding this C1 filter. To them it meant summer vibes and carefree surfboards, scrunchies, hydro flasks. I'm sorry, just real quick. Does that say oof? I knew you VSCO people were terrible to begin with, but appropriating gaming culture? I'm disgusted. It makes me sick as somebody who can't afford to do any of those things on a regular basis. But it's stuck, so much so that people decided to dedicate entire sleepovers to becoming the C1 filter. You remember back when everybody was using the dog filter on Snapchat? And it was like, oh, okay, a lot of girls like using the dog filter. But then people started getting plastic surgery in order to look more like how they looked on Snapchat, and it was like, wait a second, guys, it's just a filter, calm down. That's a VSCO girl.
I'm a VSCO girl in a VSCO world. Say no to plastic. I hydro flask it. You can braid my hair and I'll oop every...
Now you can hardly talk about VSCO girls without talking about VSCO girl vocabulary, because they do have their own creeds, language that they use that means something in their culture. What am I even doing anymore? They say isk a lot, which I used to type out when it was like, oh my god, can you believe this is happening? But never really thought to say out loud, because how do you even pronounce this?
Hi, you must be new.
Okay, fine, that's how you pronounce that. But then they also very commonly use the "anau" clip from Jasmine Masters, which I'm sure you've seen that part of the clip. Did you know there's another 10 seconds of it?
"Anau." I just hit my balls. Oh.
Didn't say it was 10 seconds you would want to see. This is probably a good time to talk about VSCO girls and their obsession with the hydro flask. Every cult's got its demons. This one's got a particular one.
It's gonna be pretty dope tonight. It starts at 9, BYOH.
What's BYOH?
Bring your own hydro.
Oh, the H is for hydro. Okay, cool. Real quick, man, how'd you get in my house?
The Hydro Flask Company was originally founded in Bend, Oregon. It's too easy. Nearly 10 years after its inception, it began to boom its business thanks to its association with VSCO culture.
Welcome to my sister's room, where she has not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 hydro flasks.
And reached its peak when Urban Dictionary user Memes described it as the basic bitch of the water bottle community. All in all, I hate everything about VSCO. It means a carefree lifestyle, one that you can enjoy. Meanwhile, it's quite literally 6:20 a.m. This video has to be done in the next 4 hours, and I have work in the next 3. There's no filter that makes that any easier. In other memes, YouTube has decided to make yet another decision that they say everybody's been complaining about, but at this point, has anybody complained about this? Earlier this morning, YouTube decided that the verification checkmark that you saw next to accounts that had over 100,000 subscribers was confusing. I mean, who even knows what a check means anymore? Needless to say that this stirred up a bunch of ruckus on Twitter, and a bunch of large YouTubers decided to take their complaints over to the YouTube tweet. It had a couple other things to it. A bunch of people got emails saying that they no longer met the criteria for the new verification standards, which feels weird. The previous verification standards were just to have 100,000 subscribers. We have multiple people with well over 1 million people subscribed to their channel, and now they're just not getting verified for one reason or another. Apparently they're not important enough to YouTube, not impersonated enough on other parts of YouTube to have this verification check, and yet by taking away the verification mark, you've now made it infinitely more easy for these people to copy people who were verified on Oh man, I'm having a stroke. YouTube's actually got a bit of a short history when it comes to making these rash changes to a platform that affects millions of creators that they keep saying they're doing based on feedback, but literally nobody asked for this stuff. Earlier, it was with the abbreviated sub counts where they made it so other people could no longer see exactly how many subscribers you had. They would only update in increments of 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 subscribers based on how many subs you have already. It's effectively breaking sites like Social Blade and the ability to do those live subscriber counting updates. I actually didn't think this was a bad deal. Yeah, it kind of sucks that your community can't see you, but it also completely removes people stacking up. Oh, how many subs has this person lost? How many has this person gained? I think it's actually good for the overall health of, subscribers don't matter. This change, however, just seems like you're breaking an entire system. The verification checkmark is supposed to tell you exactly who is the real whomever, right? 100,000 subscribers, whatever, means you have a big enough channel. But as Internet Historian points out here on Twitter, once you remove that verification check mark, there's no telling the difference between these guys. Who's the real historian? Which one of these dudes truly hates sea turtles? You can't tell. Also, why the fuck are you using the light mode of Twitter, you weirdo? The memes kick in as people start to question YouTube's Twitter about why exactly they decided to make such a weird, seemingly arbitrary change with no explanation. And YouTube went, oh, well, people were getting confused, so we took away the verification mark from random people and we'll be distributing them based on completely ghost criteria. Justin Wang reaches out to Twitter and goes, who was confused by this? How? And YouTube reaches back out and goes, sorry for the confusion about the viewer confusion. Sigh. You know what this reminds me of? You remember when the Fine Bros gave their apology and they were just like, oh, why aren't you guys just accepting what we say? That's what it feels like.
Oh, no way! No way! Mom! 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 Yeah?
I've had me verification badge removed.
Who gives a shit?
Anyway, the goal behind this change is to help people find the official channel of a creator, since the old badge only verified if you had over 100,000 subs, but it didn't verify a channel's authenticity. The way to fix this, obviously, is just to take away everybody's verification badge, even if they have over 1 million subscribers, because clearly it's incredibly difficult to tell who the real PewDiePie is. We are deeply sorry for the confusion about the viewer confusion. Our confused moderators confusedly stated in a very confused thread. What we tried to confusedly explain is, we made this confusing change and now deal with it. Now this is a parody account on Twitter, though I'm sure it was probably pretty tough to tell because it's not like YouTube gave us any more detail than this tweet does. Long story short, YouTube makes yet another rash decision that affects millions of creators on their platform while consulting almost none of them, because really, who would have asked for this? While the verification badge may be gone for many, everybody still has a subscribe button. You can press mine below if you don't want to miss my videos coming out every week. Catch you guys next Friday. Peace. Stop it. Get some help.